just because they took the aliens out doesn't mean it's not still going to be kind of wacky. Classic Doctor Who review time. Black Orchid. This one is such an odd story. So this is a fifth Doctor story. It's only 2 parts, which was incredibly uncommon at that point. That wasn't particularly common before that, but especially by then, it pretty much had all settled into 4 parts per story as being the standard, occasionally being slightly longer. But yeah, it's a little bit odd. And it's noteworthy as being the last Doctor Who story, I think, to be a pure historical. Now, there's some debate over that because it doesn't involve any actual historical events or historical figures. So when I say it is a pure historical, I mean it is set in the past. The Doctor encounters people in that setting, and there is no alien shenanigans whatsoever. The Master doesn't show up. There's no Daleks, no Zygons, no Cybermen, no nothing. It's just the people who were there at the time. That's all that is being dealt with. As I kind of alluded to, don't expect that to mean it's going to be realistic. And it is kind of a shame, I think, that the pure historical is pretty much dead and has been ever since this, because there are some stories out there that I think honestly would have benefited from having the alien elements removed or at least dialed back severely. Unicorn and the Wasp leaps to mind. I think doing that more as a straight Agatha Christie style mystery without the giant wasp would have been better, but whatever. Let's talk about this. So it's 5th Doctor with the full team. Adric's still here because Earthshock's the following story. Oops. Nyssa, Tegan, they land in England at an earlier point in time, and the Doctor is promptly confused for someone who was being expected at this gathering to fill in on the cricket team. It was inevitable that the Doctor who they put in a cricket uniform was going to get to play cricket, and he's evidently very good at it. In addition to that, we have a whole thing with Nyssa being just, that sort of random doppelganger where 2 people who have no relation to each other look pretty much exactly the same. Well, there's one of those here, as this young woman is a dead ringer for Nyssa, and they meet each other. There's like a brief bit of a split screen, which is decently done, actually. They hide the seams on that pretty well. It's a pretty brief shot, but they did a decent job on it. So you have that as your initial setup, but then there's the lurking intrigue, because there's something in the manor house. Something odd. It's not aliens, though. This whole thing is very soap opera, or maybe even Penny Dreadful a little bit. So, oh, cripes. So what is ultimately going on? Because, there was a body discovered. Somebody, there's a fancy dress party, which, of course, allows Nyssa, and I don't even remember her name, but the woman who looks like Nyssa 2, to dress up in the same outfit and confuse people. Although I do like some of the gags that they get out of that with them being like, oh, you think you know which one I am? Oh, well, are you sure? They actually get some decent mileage out of that. Oh, also, I'm gonna pause to note this. Nyssa and Tegan's dynamic, people shipping them did not come out of nowhere. It did not. There's unintentional, I guarantee it. But there is definitely there is an energy between the two of them that I'm not saying is flirtatious, but can be interpreted that way. So yeah, I did note that. But there is also someone who shows up in the outfit that the Doctor is supposed to be wearing and kidnaps Nyssa 2. And, we eventually get the reveal of this man with this very deformed face who doesn't talk. He's just gonna, and the eventual reveal that he's the brother of sort of this, one of the people who's at this gathering. who's been back in secret because like he went to Brazil to find the black orchid, which was a sacred item, and so the locals there scarred his face and removed his tongue, and he's since been brought back, but he's gone mad. And it's this weird Phantom of the Opera-y overwrought drama. It's like, it's absurd. It's kind of fun. Like, honestly, I'm really glad it's 2 parts, because trying to stretch this out to any longer would have done it absolutely no favors. And I'm not saying it works at the length that it does, but it is just short enough that you can kind of, if you could just wrap yourself in the absurdity of it, you can just kind of let that energy carry you for, about 50 minutes. Yeah, it holds out for about that long to at least find it entertaining. It's not good, but it is kind of fun, and it is kind of entertaining. It is worth noting that, okay, so there's a character, Latoni, I believe is his name. So this is a character, thankfully, not a man in brown face. I did check. That was a relief. But an Indian actor playing a Brazilian character who has a lip plate in a very, very cheap approximation of one, which of course lip plates and lip discs are a thing in Africa. And it's not good. Kind of on its face, it's just not good, because it's doing all brown people are basically the same. We'll get somebody from completely opposite ends of the earth and just have them pretend that India is the same as Brazil. Oh, and we'll have a bunch of, tribal signifiers from Africa, because that's how that works. That having been said, the visual aspect of what this character is, but honestly, beyond the appearance, not a horrible racist caricature. Like, he speaks perfectly well. They didn't give him like broken English and like noble savage dialogue. He actually he gets jumped by George, the deformed guy. I've remembered his name at least now. He gets jumped by George because he's reading. Like, he's absorbed in what he's doing. He's well read and he can communicate just fine. And there is something a little bit relieving that they didn't have him, speaking in this broken up dialogue of like, oh, you do bad thing, me go. Like, it could have been. To look at him, I was expecting that, but they don't do that. Again, not to absolve them of the visual of this character, but it definitely falls under the category of not good, but not nearly as horrifically racist as I kind of expected it to be. I had seen this story before, and I remembered a little bit that this character was there, but I remembered nothing about him, and I was expecting worse. I was expecting to look it up and find out that it was a white guy in brown face, and I was expecting his dialogue to be, this horrible broken English stereotype, but it's not. Again, not to absolve it, it's not good, but it is distinctly less awful than I was expecting it to be. And again, this thing just kind of has an energy that is just enough to get it through to the end. Although at the very oh God, at the very end. So the resolution on this, George kidnaps Nissa, thinking that she's Nissa too, and like takes her up on the roof, and the house has been set on fire at this point, and he's being confronted by the doctor and his brother, not the doctor's brother, George's brother, and they eventually talk him down, and George lets Nissa go, and then George's brother, he's like, oh, I forget what he says, but it's just a sort of, oh, good show, man. He goes in to hug George, And George is like, ah, and like takes a couple steps back and falls off the roof. He just falls. It's just like, it's not even a tense moment anymore. It's like everything's resolved. Things are fine. Ah! He just falls off the freaking roof and dies. Which is simultaneously hilarious, but also kind of gross. Because in addition to doing the having visible, deformities and lack of speech drove him mad. Now they've also kind of done the, well, he was better off dead anyway. And when you're doing that with a visibly disabled character, that's not great. And as funny as it is, because it's like, what? It is kind of gross to do it that dismissively. It has the tone of just kind of taking it as a given. Oh yeah, like, this is better. He should just be dead. His life is a nightmare. Look at him. And that's just kind of gross. But again, I cannot help but laugh just because of the absurdity of his brother goes to hug him and the dude takes like 2 steps back and falls off a roof. I don't know. It's just silly. It's just, this is a story to go in expecting basically nothing and finding the fun where you can. And I did. I found it entertaining, but again, it's not good. Black Orchid. You've seen this one. What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills, enables me to do this as my living, and you get perks at every tier of support. Maybe check those out. Don't worry too much about it, though. Like, share, subscribe also help, but ultimately, we take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lafula, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperol, Dave Hall, Oliver B, Mystic Shadow, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Becky Sparks, Ulrich, Twilord, Tracy Scrabbit, Pau Barabajoggle, Sir Didymus is my favorite, and to thank some folks from the lower tiers: Cyborg Ex Machina, Alex, and Lightning Spirit. I've been saying Angry Casperol for ages, and I almost said Angie Casperol. You are distracting, the whole lot of you.